Well, good evening, everyone. Decided to go ahead and make my own tunnel portals here. I think if you've been watching some of the previous installments of Bundle Railroading on a Budget, you've seen that I have taken away the entrances to the tunnels here, mainly because I had a clearance issue with some of the longer intermodal cars that I've got, and the SD45 engine that I recently purchased is also, it was a little bit long. It was rubbing against some of the entrances there. So what I've decided to build this out of, you remember a while back I showed you the project where I had laid slate tile floor on the back porch, and I've got some slate left over. This piece right here is about 16 inches wide. It's probably, I don't know, 5 or 6 inches tall. So what I'm going to do is cut some 1-inch strips out of this piece of slate. It's very close to concrete color. It's hard to see on the actual video here, but it does have some variation in it. But my plan is to cut 2 strips for the vertical sides of the portal, and 1 strip to go across the top here horizontally. I'll probably cut the side pieces short enough so I can rest the top piece on the 2 side pieces, and then in the corners, instead of having just a square inside corner, I'm going to cut a 45, a little triangular shaped 45 piece of slate to go in there to make it look like it was actually a poured concrete tunnel portal. So that's what I'm going to try and get done tonight. I've got to set up the wet saw to cut this slate. And to do that is going to take me a little while, so I'm not going to try and film that whole process because that might take quite a little bit, but I will go ahead and show you the results in the rest of the video. So I'm going to cut away for now and go ahead and start that project. You know, every time I say I'm going to cut away, I think of something I want to show you. Back over here on the entrance to the intermodal yard, had some suggestions about placing some of those K-rails, K-barriers, towards the entrance here, and I've done that, so I think that looks a little bit better, a little bit more realistic. So I've got a couple of concrete barriers in there right now. I've gone ahead and I think you can see that I've striped. Let me back out a little bit. Put some striping here just as an area to stay out of. I may go ahead and color in some of those diamonds, you know, maybe black and yellow, so just to kind of make that stand out, and maybe mark in some parking spaces back over here. I haven't added any of the scenery onto the chain link fence yet. I may try and do some of that this evening, but so that's my project for tonight, is to go ahead and build these tunnel portals. And so I've got 2 of them to do. It'll take a little bit of time to get all of those cut out, but I will definitely come back and show you the end result. Okay, so I've got all 4 vertical pieces cut now, and I've also got the 2 horizontal pieces cut. Here's obviously these need to be shortened, but here's a long piece here. What I'm going to do is figure out the height that I need here. I'm going to hold this cross piece up, you know, just so it's probably about in there somewhere, and then mark the 2 vertical pieces with a line across, and I'm using my level here just to make sure that I get a nice square cut on those vertical pieces. So I'm going to go ahead and mark those and cut the horizontal piece, and I'll set it in place, and then we'll take a look at that. Alright, so here's the first portal in place. It's just sitting in there temporarily right now. It isn't glued, or it doesn't have any adhesive on it. What I'm going to use is construction adhesive to adhere these pieces together, and also against my mountain. So it's wet right now, so it's a little bit darker than it will be when it's dry. It'll be, you know, very close to the colors of this slate, which you see sitting in here, that I used for my parking pads. I'm going to put I believe I'm going to put 45s up here at the corners. You know, I may need to check that out. If I put 45s in there, they're not going to be very large because I don't want to impede upon the vertical clearance for some of the taller intermodal cars. I don't want them to hit in the corner there. So we'll maybe see how this goes. You know, I may decide not to use those little triangles. We'll check it out. I'm going to go ahead and get the other one cut and in place, and we'll take a look at that. And then I may cut the triangles and just kind of place them in there, and then maybe take an intermodal car and load it up and run it through there, just so we can get an idea of what that clearance looks like. So we'll cut the other tunnel portal here, get it in place, and then we'll go and take a look. I'm going to go ahead and set the camera down on the track here so you can kind of get an idea of the clearance that I have. There's an intermodal car with two trailers, two containers on it. So you've got quite a bit of clearance there. That's almost 2 inches. So I guess, I don't know, scale feet, that's what, close to 16 or so, 16 feet of clearance, which may be a little bit much. I'm not going to go ahead and put these in place till I hear from you guys. I'd like some comments on whether you think I need to lower the top so that the clearance is less. I've cut just a small corner piece here, so I don't know if you can see that, but that's my plan, is to go ahead and put those little 45s in here at the corners to make that look a little bit more, I don't know if that's realistic or not, but I kind of like that look. So give me your opinion on whether you think that's too high. You know, I'm not sure. I'm not a, you know, I'm not a rivet counter. I don't know exactly how high or how much clearance there should be on top of you know, above a car like that, above the containers. You know, maybe it should only be 8 feet. Maybe need to drop that down an inch or so. Maybe it should be less than that. But let me know. I think those are the tallest cars I have. Don't believe I've got anything higher than that. And whether or not you think these little 45 pieces look good in the corners here. So I think that's about all I'm going to do for tonight. I've got to clean up the garage now because I've got slate dust and water all over the place. So I'm going to leave it as is for now. And send me your comments. As always, I appreciate all of my subscribers and viewers. And let me know what you think about this idea. Whether I need to scrap it and start over with something else, or whether you think it's going to look like a concrete tunnel portal. Obviously, at the top here, which is pretty rough right now, I'm gonna have to fill that in, top and sides here, obviously. And I've got plaster cloth left over, so I can go ahead and blend those into the hillside. You can see that one over there. Let me zoom in on that just a little bit. You can see that one is up quite a bit above my current height of my mountain. So, you know, not a problem to fill that in. And obviously on the sides and such. But the clearance over here is the same on this side. But there's, let me zoom back out. There's that one in place. Not attached, as I said, just sitting there. Let me walk back over here. And there's that one with the clearance. Alright, I think that's going to be about it for the night. I'm going to sign off and go ahead and get this posted. But thanks for your viewership and for your subscriptions and comments. Talk to you soon.